Well, hey friends, this is Jennifer, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, the podcast for women who want to find freedom in both their life and in their business. I own a multi-7-figure-a-year coaching business. I'm also a certified life coach. So I have the honor of helping thousands of women every single month make money in the online space and help them to get unstuck from whatever is holding them back, all without sacrificing their faith or their family. In this show, you're going to get the very best life and business advice, always with a healthy dose of Jesus. So buckle in, my friend. I'm so excited that you are here. Well, hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. This is podcast episode number 348. So thought I would do just a quick episode today about backlash on social media. It's interesting because in my inner circle, where I teach people to grow their online business by using social media, I'm always surprised at how many people are worried about exactly what happened to me last weekend happening to them. They're worried about people coming out of the woodwork. They're worried about what they call trolls. They're worried about haters. They're worried, in their words, about getting canceled. And by the way, you can only be canceled if you allow people to cancel you. So there's that. Okay. But I think that that's always interesting and intriguing to me because it doesn't happen, very often. It's not very often you're going to put up a post and people are going to have an absolute fit by it. But I did last weekend. I thought, you know what? Let's talk about that one today. So real quick though, before I give you the story, I want to make sure you know that this episode is brought to you by Good Ranchers. You guys have heard me talking about Good Ranchers. It is an incredible meat delivery service right to your front door. You can go to goodranchers.com and use the code GEN20 to get $20 off your order. That's JEN20 to get $20 off of your order. So let's talk about what I actually posted. And was it how I feel about the pandemic? No. Was it how I feel about wearing masks? No. Was it how I feel about chemtrails? No. It was a post about Jesus, and that just poked the bear. So here's what the post was for those of you who are curious. It was just, it was on a Sunday morning, and all I wrote was just what was on my mind, which was people need Jesus. We all need Jesus. We need Jesus in our families, in our businesses, in our schools. It's the only way. And in my head, it was just kind of like let's call it like a brain dump. This is what's on my heart. This is what's on my mind this morning. Like, gosh, this world, people need Jesus. We got to get Jesus. Boy, things are not always in a great place. Right. And so that was my intention. And that's why I posted it. And the last time I looked, and I have not looked in the last couple of days, but we were at like 1,300 comments and well over 10,000 likes. And a whole lot of support. I'm going to say, let's say 85% support, something in that range. But then also some people that were not happy. And here's what I think is super interesting is it's never a post that you think is going to be the one that somebody, has an issue with. It's never the one that you're like, oh man, this could be tiptoeing on a topic or something. And what I know to be true about social media, friends, is that there are sometimes people will go sideways about something that you never anticipated. Back in my painting days, there were times when I would post something about my aversion to chalk paint. By and large, I was not a supporter of chalk paint. The rest of the world was going to chalk paint. I was not a huge supporter of that. If you know me personally, you know that I rarely, if the rest of the world's going to the left, I tend to veer to the right. And it's not because I'm trying to be different, but it's always because I try to be a critical thinker. I try to not go with the masses. I try to not get involved with what's the in vogue thing to do right now. I try to look 10 steps ahead. I try to use discernment, not that other people are not, but in my head, I'm like, no, I'm not getting on this chalk paint bandwagon. People are going to use this in their kitchens and they're going to have huge issues with grease and everything else. And then they're going to be coming to my company in the next 10 years wanting to change it. We're going to have to strip off all the wax and, so in my head, I'm just thinking, that I'm telling people that I don't like chalk paint. And there were a couple times that posts went absolutely crazy because people were so upset with me. How dare you? Everybody's going to chalk paint. This is what I use. This is my livelihood. I can remember back when I did DIY painting videos, and there was some brouhaha then. This is probably really only like the third time I can remember people taking issue. Well, you know what? I take that back. This is the fourth time. There was an issue that with a post I did on social media about the halftime show about 3 years ago. And here's what I would love to say about this. This post about people needing Jesus, even though, you know, I pulled the post up on my phone, and right now we're at 11.2 thousand likes, 1,300 comments, almost 500 shares. We had, I'm going to make sure I'm giving you real numbers here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to give you real numbers so that I'm not just guessing. But I did lose over 500 followers this week. And I did get several people who needed to announce their departure as if it was, you know, this is an airport, unfollowing. And I can't believe that you would spew hate. And there's other things that they said. Here's what I want you to know. Friend, I promise you, you are fully capable of handling a little bit of heat on social media. You're talking to the girl who does not like confrontation at all. You're talking to someone who I do not like getting into a spit match. I don't like upsetting people. I am very, I'm going to just go ahead and almost say like shy by nature. Sometimes that can be misconstrued as arrogance. It's not. I'm a complete introvert. I don't like rocking the wagon, but also I will not back down from truth. It is not happening. And so I want you to know that if you are someone who is concerned about posting something on social media and people getting upset, that you can handle it. Here's what I did that day. First of all, I remembered that, you know what, it's okay for us to disagree. And I think that at the very highest level of maturity, people will be able to disagree, but not cancel one another, unfollow, what have you. There are other people that they're never going to be for me. They're never going to be my people. They're never going to be the people that turn into not just followers, but into like community, like an actual, community online. They're never going to be one of my clients. They're never going to sign up for one of my classes. And if they are like, this is the thing, like Jen can talk about all that other stuff and we don't have an issue, but this is the thing I got an issue with. I got an issue with Jesus. It's okay that they unfollow. And I want to know that whatever that thing is with you, if you post about your DIY videos and somebody has a fit, you can handle that. If you post about what you think of the Super Bowl show, and by the way, that is one post that I regret taking down because my words were accurate and I regret taking it down, but I felt like I was in a panic because there were people sharing it with people who were sharing it with people, and those sorts of things don't happen very often. And then there was an attack and it just got ugly and gross. And so I think that here's what I want you to know. First of all, you need to use great discernment and wisdom on what to post and what not to. There are times that the Lord may tell you, you know what, this is something just you and I'll work out together. You're not to work it out on the Facebooks or the Instagrams. Number two, I want you to remember that there are some people that they are just so wounded that they will lash out at whoever, they can on social media because they're hurting. They're hurting people. There are also people that are not mentally well on social media. I've had an interaction lately with that. And if they're not mentally well, like you can't reason with unreasonable people. So if in fact you make a post, there's somebody upset, or you make a story and somebody's in your DMs, please know that you don't even have to respond. Sometimes the high road is silence. Hey friends, so I got to tell you, Jason and I are absolutely loving our meat deliveries from Good Ranchers. And I want to tell you all about it because I think it's such a wild world that we live in, that we literally have the ability to have amazing, healthy, fabulous meat boxes delivered directly to our door. I mean, what kind of a world do we live in, right? And so go to goodranchers.com and get subscribed today for a meat delivery. And if you subscribe and use my code, which is Jen20, that's JEN20, you do get $20 off of your subscription. And you do get free bacon for a year. Okay. Right now, for real, you do get Applewood smoked bacon free, not once, not twice, but in every box for a whole year. And so if you're interested at all at trying out Good Ranchers, is a really great time to do it. Don't forget to use the code GEN20 and go to goodranchers.com. The American me delivered. Sometimes the high road is restraining when what you want to do is lash back. Sometimes the high road is just understanding that, you know what? My responsibility is just to do what I did. And God's responsibility is, he'll deal with me and he'll deal with them, and just let the chips fall where they may. But getting into a back and forth with randos on the internet, that's what I call random people, randos, with randos on the internet, it's not a good use of your time. It's just not. It's not a good use of your time. I can remember years ago having a conversation with a pastor friend of mine. And telling him that, I saw this person post this and that's not true. And I wanted to come back and I wanted to say this. And he's like, Jennifer, listen. And I was like, yes, what, pastor? And he's like, listen, never get into a wrestling match with a pig, because the truth is you're both going to get dirty, but only the pig likes it. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. So just so that you guys don't have to rewind right now, I'm going to say this again for you. And by the way, this is not me calling people pigs. Okay. If that's what you think, like, be bigger than that. All right. This is not me calling people pigs. Here was the saying again, never get into a wrestling match with a pig. So that doesn't mean that they're a pig of a person. It just means with somebody who likes the fight. Okay. So never get into a wrestling match with a pig, because the truth is you're both going to get dirty, but only the pig likes it. And I've never forgot that saying. There are people who they only feel powerful when they are internet bullies. There are people who only feel powerful when they're keyboard warriors and they are, they're commenting things that they shouldn't. And everything you say the sky is blue, they say, no, it's turquoise. I mean, you guys know these bristly people in real life. What do you do in real life? You avoid conversation with them. What do you do on the internet? You avoid conversation with them. And when they try to instigate conversation with you by way of a post, by way of tagging you, by way of whatever, ignore it. Because they're trying to get you to engage. And listen, some of you don't have time to have your energy wasted on people whose minds you are never going to change, who are so wounded they'll never see anything in your way, people who are never going to be for you, people who have already decided what they think about you. So it's like throwing your pearl on swine. How interesting. I'm throwing out a Bible scripture that also has to do with pigs. But the Bible says we're not to throw our pearls on swine. You've got something sacred. You've got something holy. You've got a call of God on your life. The way you spend your time matters. Don't waste it on people and conversations and comment threads that are never going to make a difference. All right. So listen, I've done a podcast before. I'd have to go back and find you which episode it was, but about how polarizing content is one of the best ways to grow your social media. It's also one of the best ways to clean out your social media. Okay. Can I say that? I'm not somebody who is wired for polarizing content. I have plenty of friends who are. My friend Brian Dixon, he'll post something that's polarizing in a heartbeat. My friend, the girl named Blake Gouchette, that girl, she will post something. She'll drop a firebomb and she'll exit left. I'm not wired in that same way. I'm not. So I'm not looking to post things that is polarizing. I'm also never going to shy away from my faith and how I feel like I'm supposed to be using that inside of my business coaching and inside of my social media platforms. And some of you, I want you to know that if you have that same conviction, but you're terrified of what is going to happen if you post something and people are offended, honey, let them be offended. Who cares? Who cares that I lost 500? I don't care. I care not. Those were not my people. We're more worried so often about the numbers of followers we have than the followers we have really being the people who are for us and really our community. I think it's interesting too that Jesus had haters. And yet so many of us are shocked and surprised. What did I say? Surprised? That's funny. We're shocked and surprised when not everybody is for us. And I always tell the women in my coaching group, Jesus, not everybody is for Jesus. Why do we think that we're going to get along with everybody? Let them go. Don't try to convince them to see things your way. I commented on that post, and you can still go look at it on my Facebook page. I interacted with several people, even one who was like, I have no idea. I think she said something like, how in the hell am I a top commenter on this thread or on your platform? And because she completely disagreed with my post. And I came back and I'm like, Julie, I don't know how you got the top commenter either. Whatever her name wasn't Julie. But I said, but honestly, for real, I'm glad that you are here. And I am. And there was this one other girl. I still want to go back and comment to her. I would just have to go through my stuff. But she said, what did she say? Something like, how in the hell am I even on this Facebook page tonight or something like that? Because clearly she very much disagreed with my post about Jesus. And I wanted to say, girl, I feel the same way. Like, how am I even here tonight? What is happening? What is happening? and so listen, can we be mature enough just to like disagree with each other and not have to exit right? I mean, first of all, but second of all, also, don't get so upset. I mean, the best thing you can do, I think, sometimes is if you've got something that's going a little bit rogue, walk away from it. Here's what I told my team. Keep an eye on it, because if there's any cursing, if anybody wants to bring in people that I love into some sort of a conversation, like Mama Bear here, we'll stop that right there. But otherwise, I'm okay with people, letting me know that they don't think Jesus is the only way. That's all right. They have the same right to say that as I have to say he is the only way, right? So I hope that that's helpful for some of you today. I know that it makes people uncomfortable. There were plenty of people who were like, whoa, what's happening on your Facebook? I'm like, it's fine. It really is fine. I love that Bible scripture, to whom much is given, much will be required. And I think sometimes that we forget that we're like, Lord, give me this incredible business. Lord, give me a platform of people. Give me an online community. Lord, give me sales. Give me clients. But then the other part of that is, because to whom much is given, much will be required. There may be sometimes, I believe, a requirement from heaven that we're also able to deal with things like this, with things that we really don't want to, with situations that we'd rather avoid. And so I don't know that we can always have it both ways. And so my hope today was that I could come in and encourage you that if in fact you have, a social media post that goes sideways, you can handle it. If you have people that disagree with you, you can handle it. If you have, a dumpster fire in the comment section, listen, you don't even have to manage it. Ask a friend, ask somebody else to protect your heart and watch it for you. Listen, I had such great advice. I'm going to tell you this one last story and then I'll be done here. I had incredible advice from one of my painting clients years ago. And what's super interesting is she mentored me for 3 of her houses. For 3 of her houses, she mentored my heart. And it was never about painting. I mean, we thought it was at the time, but now in retrospect, I just know how much she taught me. But she gave me a great lesson one time about insulating my heart and having gatekeepers around me, both professionally and personally, so that not everything got to me. And we do that here at Team Allwood. If we get a nasty gram via email, my team doesn't come running and tell me every time somebody says, I hate Jennifer. She's the worst coach I've ever seen. And also she touches her hair too much. I mean, they don't tell me. They protect my heart. If we get people that are like, this is the worst thing I've ever done. I can't stand her. I want out of her coaching group. There's a threshold, a financial threshold, but that I tell my team, anything under this, just give it to them. I don't need to know anything about it. I don't need to know anything about it. Insulate me, protect me. I have a girlfriend. I got something in the mail one time and I'm like, I need for you to read it first. I can't do it. So she read it first. And here's what she said. You don't need to read it. And I said, are you sure? She's like, nope, no good will come of it. And I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, yep. And I'm like, okay, take care of it for me. So she just disposed of it. That's a word for someone today. I had no intentions of sharing that, but somebody here needs to know that continually exposing your heart over and over to things that would be healthier if you were shielded from is not wisdom. And so if you are somebody who can't handle a little bit of pushback on social media, ask somebody else just to watch it for you. You don't have to look at every comment. You don't have to read everything. Listen, go be about God's business. Let him deal with them. You just deal with the stuff that you're supposed to be dealing with. He'll take care of it from there. Okay. He's a great accountant. All right, friends, if this was helpful for you, I'm glad. I'm really glad. And if you are someone who's in business and who, like me, is a Christian, and is not offended by my Facebook post on Jesus, I do have a devotional that is $9.99 on Amazon, or you can get it for free if you'd like to today. I'll give you a link to it. It's jenniferallwood.com/devotional. It's just an ebook. It's a book of prayers for business people, and we can send that right to your inbox. jenniferallwood.com/devotional. My gift to you, just for being here. I love you. I hope this was helpful for someone today, and I'll plan on chatting with you soon. Bye-bye. Friend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. I'm so honored that you come back for every episode and that you share the Jennifer Allwood Show with your friends and family. Every time I see you guys post about it on Instagram or Facebook or something, it just makes me do a little happy. So thank you. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast if you never want to miss an episode. So you can go to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or any of the other podcasting places and subscribe each week so that every week you get the new episode when it releases. So just know that I love bringing you relevant content. I love bringing you great guests. And one of the ways you can help us here at Team Allwood is by leaving the podcast a review. So if you have just a second to do that, would you go over and leave a review for the Jennifer Allwood Show? Thank you again. You're amazing. I'm honored to be here. Until next week. Bye-bye.